Quake, and it breaks my heart that that game isn't huge because it is such a fucking beautiful game to watch.
It's awesome, dude. I never watched it, but I remember just watching the video that Carmack, ESL Carmack did with one of the pros going over his VOD, and I always mention that because that was like my one glimpse into Quake as someone who played obviously just fucking around, you know, old
with
Quake
Cooler?
games. Probably Cooler. Sounds right. But I remember it's an awesome VOD. You can still find it somewhere, probably on YouTube or deep in an archives on the ESL website. Yeah, and they're just going through his like first person view or whatever, and he's talking through like, oh yeah, you know, I knew that was going to pop back up in 2 seconds, so I had to cover this line of sight.
Mega armor's coming in 10 seconds, so I'm cycling around trying to, when we're both zoning for it and that sort of thing, and yeah.
It was beautiful because it's just all those little details, and I was like, oh, this is such great content, man. And you could tell immediately it was such a deep game.
Yeah. Oh man. And then there's Doom Eternal, which isn't deep at all, and I just fucking love it. Those id Software boys still pumping up them good games. In the top right here, by the way, this is our Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem.
And down here in the bottom left-hand side, it is representing Exxon, Nina.
Yeah, not Root anymore.
I didn't realize. Actually, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get rid of my giant head for those, by the way. Sorry, guys. First game of me swapping over to casting. I'm also going to shut up and very quickly go refill my water so that I can not leave the computer for a while. I'm going to lock this on Maynard Cam. You're on Nina's base right now, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll be right back. Thanks, man.
Okay. What up, pig viewers? Now you have to watch this. Woo! Woo! Just going around and around in circles here at Liquid Clem's main. Hope you guys don't get nauseous. In all seriousness, let's talk about the video game. Clem is actually a previous champion. He was defeated here, Marine, I believe, in a grand finale. Actually, it might have been New Thermal. Hard to remember, but he actually seems to have the TVTs, like the U-Thermal and Clem TVTs seem to be happening pretty regularly the past few weeks in the ESL Americas Club. Because these guys go deep. They are extremely high-level European players, and there's not really a whole lot of people in the bracket that can stop them. Nina is one of those people that has the potential to stop Clem, but isn't likely to stop Clem, because Clem's just one of those, you know, if you in StarCraft 2, it's very hard to sneak a victory against someone that's like really, really good at the game. It has so many moving parts, so many moving pieces that if you're better than someone at the game, you generally win. Generally. Of course, there are a few cases here and there where you will be able to sneak a victory, but Nina is a very, very solid Protoss. I feel like a bit more of a PvZ sniper than a PvT sniper, but does start off things very nicely, denying that bunker. Gets the SCV kill as well as the probe going down, but Clem, of course, just cancels the bunker. Reaper just does its thing. Game's going to continue pretty much as normal, just with a little bit of extra resources lost for both players. With Clem slightly behind in that regard. Single gate Robo here from Nina. Trolling that Stalker on the high ground until that second gateway unit comes up. Can't really zone back the Reaper too well until you have multiple gateway units up. And we have the Adept and the Natural and the Stalker in the main, so all is well. And Clem is going to go for, I think, just the single Hellion. And see this more and more, and I always like to bring it up, is that the single Hellion is a bit more modern. And Hellions aren't really a thing in TVP historically, but they have been lately. And you just go for the single Hellion, you go for Widowmine drop as you normally would. But the Hellion actually, especially with the Reaper, can be very annoying. Not only for scouting information and the Protoss being able to stop that unit because it's so fast, but also if it marries up with the Reaper can kind of, grenade things out of the way while the Hellion gets on deep. But the Reaper just dies. Those two Stalkers there of Nina in the main base. Also Stalkers down in the natural, ready for that Hellion as well. Nina really covering the bases very, very nicely. Clem gets deflected. Pretty quick robotics bay for Nina as well as a Prism. So I think, I want to say it's a Colossus drop. I want to say that. It may not be, but I want to say it's Colossus drop because it's something that Nina has done more than once and it is Colossus drop.
What a thing to come back to. Hot damn. I'm excited. I was also looking at that, cheering for that. I was like, oh, it's probably just a Disruptor, but I really want to see the Colossus. Yeah, I've seen Clem die to Colossus a few times as well, the Colossus drop. Very marine-heavy player. And if he's a little light on the tech units, it'll be bad. The Raven, I think, is very nice. Helps get rid of the Observer, and of course, the constant threat of the Interference Matrix stopping you from picking back up can be rather nasty. At the same time, there are moments where you see someone put it on the Prism, and the Colossus just keeps stutter stepping and kills all the Marines, and you're like, oh, okay, you actually should have shut the Colossus down.
Speaking of getting shut down, that drop of Clem getting 12 probes there, and he gets out with everything. Oh my god.
Oh,
What a
man.
godlike drop for Clem.
And
There's
he should
nothing there.
He's queuing it to go home and repair, which is absolutely the right call. He can then just send it across the map again in like a minute or two. That's so sick. That's big damage.
A lot of pressure on Nina here to do counter damage with his Colossus.
Yeah, I think it's reasonably well set up too. Unfortunately, it's going to the natural, where that siege tank actually not covering the mineral line. So yeah, this is going to be really nice. And no extended lance upgrade. So just a single Colossus for now, which I think is the right way to play it. Might move forward just enough to take one tank shot. Clem's like, please come closer. Please come closer.
Yeah, there's that tank shot. So it looks like the natural's been evacuated. It's going to be 6 in the end. I think that's going to be it for the Colossus now. Has to pick up and get out of there. They're not going to get too much more. Clem sending those workers back a little early. The Raven comes forward for the lockdown, and that's when Nina taps out with that Prism. She has that extra bit of speed on the Raven, so is going to fly on out of there. 7 SCVs, good damage.
I love the way Nina doesn't pick up straight away. You could tell Nina was staring at that, because Nina is a micro god, for those who don't know. Yeah. Nina is all about micro control, and is like, I feel like it's hard to explain what it's like playing against Nina, but it's tilting. Like, Nina's whole goal is just to trigger the opponent with micro, and just like microing their ass off. So, Disruptor coming forward, distraction with the Colossus drop. Disruptor comes in. Ooh, hits the tank.
Yeah, very nice damage on that tank, but a quick snap repair there from Clem to keep that tank healthy, because it is still very, very important to his defense.
Mine drop comes in, is going to take out. Bam, 2 probes already. The other bit of the drop does get shut down. So good response there from Nina, who's still up on 50 workers versus 47, has slowed down Clem's follow-up, and now Clem wants to start pushing out. 3rd CC going down on location. There's a Zealot there, though. That's going to be really nice for delaying that. And coming forward with not that much bio. Like, the upgrades are coming. There are some medevacs. It is a big bio force, actually, as this second army kind of comes out of the main base. And what have we got? 3 Stalkers, a Disruptor, a Colossus. And it's all about the micro here. What can Nina do to slow this push down? Needs to slow it down before it hits.
Yeah, I mean, the Colossus is kind of like doing the job of what Blink Stalkers would normally do in this case, like shave into that unit count. But anytime, that Colossus is kind of waiting for that Raven to do something. Like if the Raven goes for a lockdown, whether on the Prism or on the Colossus itself, it's going to go for that. Oh, actually gets the Disruptor there. I like that from Clem.
Oh, more shutdowns do come down. The Disruptor's very exposed. It does get clicked on. But the Colossus dropping as well, and that Raven's taken a lot of damage. I actually think this was a pretty good fight for Nina.
Yeah.
Raven's out of energy now. You don't have as much bio left. That being said, still maintaining position. And with the 3rd base up behind it, 2nd starport beginning, we're seeing Clem get ready for the Viking stage of the game. Remember, these Colossus do not have upgrades. They do not have range upgrades. So they are not the super powerful kind of 1-1 Colossus with range that you might expect at this stage of the game.
I felt like Nina really wanted to rely on the Disruptor a little bit more, which doesn't really care. Oh, the Prism! Oh! I think Nina just thought that Clem had gone home at that point, having failed the attack. And now Nina going to collapse under this army. I think this is enough Protoss to clean it up for sure.
Oh. Yeah,
10 probes going down the natural. Oh, this drop.
That's a good double drop and a quick leave. Widowmine also takes out 2 sentries. Oh, man.
It was looking dicey. It was looking dicey for Clem, but these couple quick, decisive maneuvers there from the Terran have got himself into a really dominant spot. That 3rd base is saturated now back at home as well.
Oh, I mean, there's bio running into the 3rd base. There's drops unloading there. These 2 drops are just unable to be caught. No blink. When you don't have blink, if the chaos starts, the cord starts to unravel very quickly from there, because you just don't have the mobility to punish these drops. It's a low-risk harassment scenario. Clem's striking deep into what's meant to be your most protected areas, and he has no risk. There's no threat involved, because there's, at any point, picks up, walks away, picks up, walks away. And Nina here, waiting for that blink to finish. It's still 30 seconds away.
And meanwhile at home, like all the things that Nina could go for to damage Clem really are being thought about and already being dealt with by having like a good Viking council. If a Prism shows up, goodbye Prism. If there's still a switch in the Colossus, goodbye Colossi. And the bio count is so high that it's Disruptor or 2, as good as they are, even with the best Novas possible, can't clear up enough of Clem to stop him from rallying into that 3rd base and taking another great fight. So this is very, very rough for Nina. The comeback potential, I would say, like, good Disruptors, like I mentioned, Storms, but none of those exist. The upgrades even suck here for the Protoss. So stand-up fight with Gateway units, I feel like isn't going to be enough.
Oh, double interference matrix on the Colossi. There's just no damage output here for Nina. And this is insane. I mean, the opening stages of this game, it was a 2-to-1 units lost ratio in Clem's favor. And that's not how TVP is meant to open up there, especially not when you're on even economy all game. Clem just mincing Nina. And yeah, at the end of that, it was 2.5-to-1 units lost ratio. That's
that's a monster-moded game one there. It's a big outplay by Clem on Nina. Hopefully Nina picks up her socks and does a little bit better in game 2. We'll see what map it is. But by the way, while we're in between games, thank you very much to Ritho for the 23 months and Lagromo. Thank you for 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, we are just waiting for that next game, fam. We'll probably get a lobby link posted, I would imagine. I am joining straight off Nina.
And I'm joining straight off you.
Hells yeah. Clem is so good. Someone in chat was saying, I haven't seen that much of Clem lately, but I've been seeing lots of Nina kicking butt. You must be missing the EPT cops. Yeah. No offense, but Clem has been murdering. We saw Clem win a couple of cups recently. I can't remember. Who was it we cast winning last week? Because I know we cast him winning against Big Gabe the week before that.
I think it was Clem again, wasn't it? I think it was a back-to-back.
Was he versus Bly in the finals?
Yeah. He
beat Bly like 3-1 or 3-2 or something.
I think so,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Clem's a back-to-back champ.
Yeah, of Americas has also had a lot of deep runs in EU with, I think, maybe one EU win. But it's hard to win EU because, honestly, if you look at the leaderboard, there is one big guy filling up the entire thing, and there's not really room for anybody else. It has been renamed to the EPT Big Gabe, Gabe's Meisterschaft Cup. Yeah.
He's meistering his shaft all over these weeklies.
And I am eating a banana.
A banana. The most phallic fruit that you could possibly ask for. I actually was eating carrots, multiple carrots before. So I was feeling... I had a protein shake for breakfast, and I was complaining because I actually felt like really sick, like kind of nauseous.
Yeah, you need some proper food, man. Just protein is not very much. I needed
solids.
Or some carbs or something.
Yeah. And I've just been having toast and eggs too much, and I'm just like wanted something different, and mistakes were made. Should have just had the toast and eggs. Anywho,
eggs for breakfast for the win, man.
Yeah, it's so good. In the top right here, currently up the series, it is Liquid's Clem, who's definitely favored in the series, but magic does happen in this wonderful video game.
All right, and down here in the bottom left-hand side, in the red, it's Nina.
Spent a lot of time and had a lot of chats with Nina over the years at the international tournaments, usually the NA wins. Cool to see him again. But it was good. I don't know when the next event's going to be. The next time we get to actually be face-to-face with all these wonderful gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping esports start doing like what Challenger used to be. Get a few people in a studio.
Yeah.
Get Nate and Fear Dragon, Zombie Grub, whoever down in a studio, who are somewhat local.
Yep.
Get us down here in our studio down in Auburn, or at least I definitely can. It's literally down the road.
Yeah.
Maybe grab another Sydney caster if like interstate travel is just not possible with ISO. But I hope we do more of that. Even if the players are playing from home, get some studio broadcasts. Keep bringing some good action to everybody.
The state lockdown is so sick that even if I wanted to drive to Sydney, I can't. There's police at the border.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Police at the border actually... I think you can, but it's like if I go there, I have to do it like 14 days ago. I think they put you on quarantine if you go through the state. Like like Australia has always been very paranoid about quarantine, and right now they're just like the Australian government is just rubbing their hands together, like, oh yeah, finally, like we get to.
That's what we've prepared, man.
Yeah,
our whole life for this moment.
We're preparing our whole lives for this moment to just lock shit down, like it's Alcatraz. This island is going to be a prison island again. Going to lock it all down.
Chat's telling us it's going to be Raynor Cup. I imagine Raynor won the last two, right?
Yeah, he did. So Raynor, he was like, yes, I won, but also at Denver, stop ruining my map score. It looked like it was going to be a clean sweep if it wasn't for Denver.
Bloody Denver. Denver, very good at Zerg versus Zerg. Very good player in general.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here in a TVP now. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Sorry, random tangent. I'll talk about it later more. Just really excited to talk about Maru's new opening in TVZ, which we can have a chat about later when we're casting a TVZ.
Was the Reaper medevac thing?
It was like the 2 Marines before Factory. So he still gets his starport nice and quick, but his Hellion production's a little delayed because his reactor is, but he gets a really fast 3rd CC. So it's like a really fast 3rd CC, but with double gas. It's like just a cool little adjustment with like, it's just delayed Hellion, fast 3 CC. Cool to see Terrans just making constantly these tiny little shifts in their build orders that are so important to make their opponents uncomfortable. And I mean, it's kind of cool to see Clem here playing the most generic, straightforward TVP. Terrans have perfected this style against Protoss so much. Just the Widow Mine drop, SCV Scout. You're going to go up into your 2nd and 3rd barracks, build your 3rd on location while doing a very scary stim bio shields push. And yeah, I mean, it makes things hard for the Protoss players.
Yeah, Nina went for a weird opening last game. This game looks very standard, just a blink opening, like a 1-gate blink. And it's just going to try and put the standard pants on and see how they fit. So far, so good. Shaving into that Marine count with nothing really being lost at all. And
I like, yeah, that Widow Mine, it makes you want to go to the right-hand side, but Nina knows you'll get cornered by SCVs and Marines if you do that. So, good respect by Nina.
Single Widow Mine.
Oh, really? Only one. Oh, damn.
Oh, no. Blunder. Unfortunately, there from Nina.
It's still being good so far, though. Like, so many kills on these 2 Stalkers killed like 5-6 Marines so far, which is not a bad trade. And the drop's being spotted. Nina's ready. And Blink is still about 30 seconds from finishing, but yeah, this is going to be hard to get that in. Clem's just got to be patient for now, and I think this is good. He's swapping into a... Ooh, he's going to do a big old push. Liberator on the way, 2 tanks. Oh, it's going to be a 2-tank push. As he goes with that, if he gets harassed in the middle of the map, the Widow Mine drop's going to go into distract. The Liberator will siege up the main, and he is going to go for that 3rd base. 3rd CC behind it. Oh, this is going to be a sick push out of Clem.
Usually
so many Protoss players
as well,
struggling.
though, right? You grab a few SCVs for bunkers and that sort of thing?
Yeah, just a few. Only 3. I thought it might be 4 or 5, actually, but only 3. And a sneaky path.
But in fact, that's a little bit of paint damage there from those Blink Stalkers, so the Widow Mine drop's been kind of stuck for Clem. But, of course, we know the main story here is that push. There is 3 SCVs with it. So he's going to drop those bunkers and really try and hammer down that 3rd Nexus. This is the whole play here of the Terran. It's not all in. He's getting a 3rd behind it, so he's
got to do damage, though. Yeah. Liberator's already starting off in a good way. Those Stalkers over on defense duty elsewhere. 3 Stalkers go up in the main, and that's a cancel on that 3rd Nexus, I would say. And that's what you want. You really do want that. Liberator gets out of the main. Oh my god, that Widow Mine drop still alive somehow. It's veering back and forwards, but it keeps on getting back to the safety. And a very nice timing attack by Clem.
Yeah, this Nexus is deader than Heroes of New Earth, as I like to say. Even cancels that 3rd bunker. Forget it. Doesn't even need it. I actually wouldn't mind if he canceled these bunkers as well and just like pulled back, but he's still trying to make sure that 3rd doesn't get retaken without a fight. You know, Nina is sort of flirting with the idea of trying to pick off units here, but decides to send those Stalkers across the map instead. Blinks forward, going to lose another Stalker here. Wow. So that Widow Mine from Clem placed a little bit earlier there and did not wait for the Observer.
Oh, look at this. The Marines and tanks start to move forward, but Nina sees it with the Observer, recalls, and is ready to blink on this.
Yeah, so nice little gut check there from Clem, but Nina all over it. And these Marines, of course, with this early push, do not have stim, do not have combat shields, so they're not as deadly as those Marines normally would be. And so they have to absolutely respect these Blink Stalkers. Charge follow-up for Nina as well.
I love that, though. Sees the Stalkers going, is like, oh, I'm not quite ready for that at home. And then just kind of forces them to go back. Now, for Clem, I'd love him to just go to the top left corner of the map and hide this army until it can get home a bit later. Like, if he saves 2 tanks and, what is that, like 12 Marines? Like, that's actually an awesome little force. I reckon try to get that home because in a minute, it's done. If not less than a minute, charge lots are going to jump on that and clean it up. So I really would want to see Clem get that out of there. I guess with an Observer watching, he's kind of afraid. He doesn't know where these Stalkers are right now.
They're going to blink into his main base. Clem still has a tank and a good number of Marauders, though, so Nina's going to pay for it. Snaps a couple Stalkers next, just like that. And Nina's kind of stuck in the corner here. Does have that blink range, but he's going to lose another Stalker before that retreat.
That's like 4 Stalkers in total. Check it out. This SCV of Clem, it sees the 3rd just starting. It's like, oh, you know, like he's checking everything. Go home, go home, go home. I really want to see those tanks and bunkers go home, man. I think they're toast at this point. But hey, they've done enough. And what is it, 1-1? Is the armory up?
No armory. No armory, okay. So 1-1 attack coming up from Clem by the looks of things, or the 3rd coming down. But that's a lot of Protoss, though. Do you really want to attack into that?
The medevac drop finally goes down with a bit of an F2 as he starts to move out, does Clem. Lots of zealots are out, and there is not a big marine count. So Clem has to be a little bit more respectful with his army movements right now. Yeah, he knows it's equal workers, and equal workers versus a Protoss who's got charge. It's like, just chill and make Widow Mines. Make more Marines, make more Widow Mines. The armory's finally on the way, so we'll be able to continue the upgrade advantage in a little while. Clem's looking good, just needs to be defensive for now. Meanwhile, Nina going to swap into double Robo.
Yeah, moving out. It feels like any time in StarCraft 2, when your double upgrade finishes up, you want to be hitting when that upgrade finishes. But against, like you just mentioned, like a guy with a lot of charge lots, it's just so tough to actually get something done because you throw that army away. Like even though Nina doesn't have any of those attack upgrades, it's just going to be armor. The charge lots don't really need the attack upgrade. That backline, a Colossus, etc., is going to do the damage against that Bioforce. There's no tanks here for Clem. Good Marauder count, I suppose, but.
Yeah.
This time, Clem is going to try and go for the attack. I guess with another few Widow Mines, feels like the charge lot count isn't as scary anymore.
Yeah, and it is a good time to push forward, but maybe a slight overextension. Those Widow Mines. Woo! They do get some decent shots. The Stalker's coming forward, though. The Colossus, the Immortal, the Guardian Shield adding something.
The Zealots are stuck in this cluster here. They pick off a tank, eat some Widow Mines on the right side. Another aggressive blink from Nina. Gets punished for it, and the Colossus also being stemmed down. Big pick up there for Clem and the Immortal.
Big ball!
Oh, good splits. Good splits from Clem.
Clem, just so good right now, man. Clem is a monster. Playing against Clem is... It's just, he's got a few more units. He's a little bit faster and more consistent at microing them.
It's just not fair.
Yeah, it really isn't, man. I imagine it's like a lesser feeling of what it's like playing against Maru. You're just like, oh, he's just too good. Like, he's so fast.
That's the thing. Like, you always want to play. It's great practice to have a player that's a little bit better than you, to play against someone that's a little bit better than you. But if you're playing against someone like Clem or Maru, it's just like, well, what do I learn here? What am I learning? The answer is just be better.
Speed up clicking on things, Maynard. You gotta click on things faster.
Be better, be more accurate, have better multitasking. I'm like, well, how do I get those things? Like, just play a lot more. I don't know. There is no answer. A bunch of SCVs are going down to a charge lot run by. Clem will clean this up. And this attack on the fourth base, very heavily reliant on these disruptors getting good. Novas!
Oh my god! Oh, no. Okay. You can touch your own balls as much as you want, but do not run in a clump to try and tag the gigantic golden Protoss ball floating towards you. That's not a good idea. And you know what? It does give Nina a tiny bit of respite. As I say that, of course, I mean, the drop in the main is like, do you want +2? No +2 for you.
No +2 for you, and Robotics may even be targeted down here, and you might be able to get it. Might be just dive on it, pick it off, and then tap out, and that means no more Disruptors. The Disruptors are literally the only thing that Clem's afraid of here, as he's going towards 2 upgrades. He's about to have a 2 upgrade lead. He's going to have Liberators. He's going to have another Bio Army follow-up, and cutting into that Disruptor production count, that means that Nina is just reliant on Gateway units, and also a couple of Mortals here, which I guess help out against the Marauders some, but not anywhere near as effective as Disruptors against dealing with Bio in a straight-up fight.
Shout out to my chat. We did announce a new Icy Far challenge today. I cast you freaking awesome replays. It's Quarantine, where you have to force quarantine your opponent and try to stop them expanding and contain them. And, Clem did that. He's doing it really well here. He took out the 3rd early. Nina keeps trying to establish a 3rd and a 4th. And he's a very aggressive, authoritarian, Mensk-style Terran Quarantine, where you break quarantine and he will actually murder your family in front of you to make sure nobody else does it.
It's the kind of quarantine where they're ripping kids away from their parents. Yeah.
Cages all the way. People, 6 months ago, everyone was like, no cages, don't put kids in cages. Now everyone's like, put these fuckers who break quarantine
put
in
those
cages.
Diseased bags in that cage right now. So now the Liberators here are a big problem for Disruptors, even without this Robotics being sniped earlier. Nina's obviously remade that. Disruptors fire off their Novas, and now Clem is going to dive here, and the EMP being landed. The Disruptor Novas still being trickled out. They are zoning, but Clem is starting to close that distance. The leapfrog here from the Liberators. And the Ghost just blanketing everything with EMPs.
Nice play here by Clem. Just too much stuff. You add EMP, and it was like already an impossible situation to solve. The EMP making it harder and harder. Those 3 Immortals starting to fall, and that really was the backbone of Nina's army there. GG. Clem with a decisive 2-0 victory.
Yeah, not a huge surprise for that score. The games were... I mean, there was a moment of brilliance there for Nina, of course, and some nice Disruptor hits and that sort of thing, and those are the kind of things that definitely get you back into a game. But in the end, just Clem played better, got himself a 2-0. and not a huge shock there. Nina is great, but Clem is Clem.
Clem is Clem. Wiser words have rarely been spoken. It is one of those things where sometimes we do not have the words. We just have to say, oh, that's they just do the special thing sometimes.